Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. We're going to talk about Ubisoft or Ubisoft. I always said Ubisoft. People fight over this. I think it's Ubisoft. I think they pronounce it Ubisoft. But whatever. It doesn't really matter because this company I don't think is long for this world, at least not in their current incarnation. I think at some point in time they will wind up going bankrupt, getting sold off, something. In fact, investors are begging for the company to go private because their stock is so terrible. They've been taking a nosedive for the last couple of months now, and it's not looking better. They're worth about $3 a share. And if you go look at the history of Ubisoft, it hasn't been this low since around 2013. Yeah, it's not good. So this company is in massive financial peril right now, just like so many other AAA developers. And a lot of the reason that gamers are turning away from these AAA titles is because of the quality of the games. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes the quality of the game suffers because they have been pushing for diversity and inclusion initiatives, right? Rather than just organic diversity, they shoehorn in all these DEI talking points. They rely on consulting firms like Sweet Baby Inc. to tell them what's what. Hey there, fellow kids. This is well, the people on Twitter want to see this as well. The people in the socialist subreddits want to see, even though they're never going to buy your game. And they listen to their own peril, and they lose hundreds of millions of dollars after each and every release. Another high-profile flop has been Star Wars Outlaws, which a lot of people were taking to task before the game came out because of the uglification of the main character, but it turns out the game is actually not that good. The game is buggy as hell. It had to be patched on day one, and when you patched it, apparently you lost your save. And this is a game that starts at $70 and goes up to like $120. It's absolutely ridiculous how much you're charging for these games. They want you to subscribe to their games. They want you to spend, $15, $20 a month to have access to their games anymore. That's the new business model. That's how things are going to go, I think. But gamers are rejecting it. They're rejecting it. And we're going to talk about this. This has come from Bounding in the Comics. I'm a little late to this. Other people have talked about it already, but apparently they've got applications opening for Develop at Ubisoft, Women and Non-Binary Mentorship Program. We have an exciting opportunity to create inclusive entertainment that is truly reflective of our diverse world. Again, Ubisoft, at this point in time, I do not believe this is a wise business decision. Everybody is turning their backs on DEI. Everybody is running away from the fire. Ubisoft is running directly into the fire, head first. And it's going to be like Denethor and Lord of the Rings. They're just going to light themselves on fire and then jump off the tower. And that's it. But they want to take as many people with them as they can. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, no woohoos in this video. Geeky's not in this video. She'll be back later tonight, but you can check out clownfishminus.com. That's our plus club, right? Instead of a plus club, we're going to do a minus club because we're contrary. We're contrarians. It's the most contrary club out there. And if you join, not only is the first month half off, but you also get merch discounts and all that. And if you want to even just go to clownfishminus.com just to see what videos we posted, you can see those. Those are available to the public. It actually takes you right back out to YouTube. But this way you can check and see if you've missed any videos. So check it out, clownfishminus.com. Again, this comes from Bounding in the Comics. Applications are opening for Develop at Ubisoft Women and Non-Binary Mentorship Program. Again, after the high-profile failure of Star Wars Outlaws and the controversy around Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is shaping up to be another disaster, I don't think it's very smart. I think at this point, you need to just create games that people want to pay for and play. Create games that aren't buggy, that don't require being patched on day one. That's all you got to do. It's really not that hard, but for some reason, it's harder for AAA gaming studios with all the bloat to get their shit together that it is for like an indie team with like a dozen people. Go figure. In service of their self-declared goal of empowering and supporting underrepresented genders, Ubisoft is going to begin accepting applications for the 2024 edition of their Developed at Ubisoft mentorship program. Now, they just laid some people off, I think, right? Yeah, just last month they laid some people off. But you're going to have a mentorship program? Okay. It was launched in 2020 and originally titled the Womenix Develop at Ubisoft. Like, you got to take the men out of women. You can't have men inside of women. Not anymore. Not in current year. Men are not allowed to be inside of women. Before eventually having its name shortened to its current form, the program aims to provide mentorship opportunities for women and non-binary individuals, students or fresh graduates with less than 2 years of experience interested in video games to develop their skill set in game design and programming. Or, here's a thought, or you could open the program up to everybody, regardless of race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, and mentor talented people, regardless of their gender. I'm just saying, because what you're also saying is that men are naturally more talented than women, aren't you? Really, that's what you're saying. You're saying that women need extra help. Non-binary people need extra help because they're just not as good as men. Think about it. That's what you're saying. So that's kind of the opposite. So you open it up to everybody and you work with talented people. We want to empower you to learn, grow, and become the very best developer that you can be. The Star Wars Outlaws developer invites potential applicants on the program's official website. Join us at Develop at Ubisoft and embark on a transformative journey toward a more diverse and inclusive future for the gaming industry. Further elaborating on the program's purpose in its programming briefs, Ubisoft adds, with more people playing games than ever before, we have an exciting opportunity to push our activism, to preach. We have an exciting opportunity to create inclusive entertainment that is truly reflective of our diverse world. Again, you can do this without making a big ass deal about it. Games have done this for years without making a big ass deal about it. Basically, all you're doing is bringing activists into these AAA gaming studios to waste hundreds of millions of dollars of shareholders' money, corporate money, to create Antifa simulators. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want another Dustborn? Do you want another Concord? I'm just saying. The industry continues to benefit from different backgrounds, fresh perspectives, and new ideas. I do agree with that. Again, open it up to everybody and let the chips fall where they may. Develop at Ubisoft supports this evolution by highlighting emerging talent, except for men. When they thrive, so does the industry, except for men. We don't want men inside of women, not anymore. Open to individuals 18 or older who currently attend university and have graduated in or after spring of 2023 and have less than 2 years of professional experience in their desired topic of study, gender studies. The program offers applicants the potential study on one of two specialized course tracks, game design or programming. Well, at least they're teaching people how to be game developers and programmers and not social media managers, right? Not chief vibe officers. For those who choose the game design track, their workload will see them both pitch a design concept and follow the production journey of a game designer at Ubisoft, working toward developing a prototype plan. Again, why can't you open this up to everybody? Why can't you open this up to everybody? Because the company should want to make as much money as possible. The company should want to hire the best of the best, regardless of their gender or sexual orientation or whatever, to make as much money as possible. Because we don't like this red line going down on the Ubisoft stock. The investors don't like it. They really don't like it. They're calling for a change in leadership. They want the company to go private. Once being selected, they're going to create a project based on a predetermined theme, and will be mentored by an Ubisoft expert. Despite working closely with their own employees, Ubisoft explicitly clarifies that the program is not an internship or employment opportunity, and that participants will not be working on Ubisoft projects or receiving any form of compensation. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so you're a diversity hire who doesn't get paid. Is that am I reading that correctly? You're a diversity hire who we can't actually trust you to work on our games, but we're going to pretend like we actually give a shit, probably to get some of that ESG money or whatever. This is so dumb. This is the most pointless thing ever. So this is, notably the Develop at Ubisoft program appears to be a product of the studio's previously revealed Project Rise, described by their VP of Global Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility, is Rashi Sika, as a multi-year strategy to ensure that Ubisoft better reflects the diversity of our players with a focus on racial, ethnic, and cultural diversity. Is that person still there? Because they've been laying off diversity chiefs everywhere for years. And I think if Ubisoft were smart and they wanted to save some money, they would fire any non-essential workers and keep the programmers who actually know how to make good games that sell. Do those people still exist at this company? Or all these good developers, they all leave to go do something on their own? Strategy is going to focus on 3 key areas. It says talent acquisition, internal talent development, and external talent pipeline development. We know that different people experience life in the workplace differently. There are different opportunities and barriers we all face in that workplace. Addressing barriers requires us to be specific, targeted, and focused on our actions. At Ubisoft, we'll be focusing on 4 key dimensions: gender equality, race and ethnicity, LGBTQIA plus inclusion, and disability inclusion. What the fuck does any of that have to do with video games? Making a good video game. I'm just saying, I guess you can take some things into consideration. And yeah, there are games that are accessible for people that maybe can't experience them the way that somebody who has all of their senses could, or, you know what I'm saying? I get that to some degree. But what the fuck does gender studies have to do with video games? This is the problem. This is where you went off the rails, guys, because everything became college, right? Everything became activism. Everything, and this has been going on for like 10 or 15 years now. And we're now seeing the end result because it's taken years for these games to go to market, and they go to market and they fail. Time and time again, they fail. Right? Gamers aren't having it. They're going back and playing old games. They're like, the new stuff is shit. And I've got your people from your company and the journalists that support them screaming at me, calling me an actual Nazi because I don't like this, that, and whatever. And it's just because games have never really been that way and they don't really need to be that way. And a lot of times they're calling non-white, non-male, non-straight people like alt-right Nazi bigots and shit. You know, it's so freaking stupid. I've actually seen more black folks on Twitter get shit from white folks who defend this ideology than I have, like, you know, white on white action. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen, it's bizarre. Like these white people will patrol Twitter and tell minorities what they're supposed to think about video games. Like, well, we're doing it for you. It's like, well, then you know what you do. You ask people what they actually want, what they actually think. But the thing is you actually ask people and you treat people like people, right? And you ask people what they actually want. And they're like, we don't want this fucking shit. We never asked for this. We're fine with the way games were in the 90s and early 2000s. We do not need this weird ass ideology in our video games. We are totally cool. And in fact, we'll do you one better. We will refuse to buy your new games, and we'll go back and we'll play your old games. Because at least they're not going to scream at us and call us racist, even though I'm black. Or, you know what I'm saying? Call us homophobes, even though I'm gay. Yeah, so this is some bullshit, right? So this is also coming from last week. Ubisoft's slump continues. It's from PC Gamer. Outlaws fails to turn things around. Yeah, it's not good. They're banking heavily on Star Wars Outlaws, saying in its most recent financial report that gameplay previews were not only praised by players and critics, but also highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engines that needed patched on day one. Reuters says that the sales are sluggish, quoting JP Morgan analyst Daniel Kervin, saying the game has struggled to meet our sales expectations despite positive critical reviews. And I'm sure bringing in some unqualified people to play make-believe game designer just because of their gender identity. And you're not going to give them a real job anyway. But I'm sure that's going to help things so much. I'm really sure it's going to. Yeah, that's going to be great, guys. This is totally going to help. And while you're at it, why don't you dump a couple more $1 million into hiring companies like Sweet Baby Inc. to tell you how to make your game fail? Like, what the fuck? Where do these companies go wrong? They used to know how to make games that people wanted to play, that people would buy. And it's not that hard. I'm looking back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So many games that still hold up. Like, you knew what you were doing back then. How did you get worse? Are none of those people left at your company? Were there too many white dudes at your company and you had to sunset them? Or what? Because the people that knew what the fuck they're doing, if you put them in charge and you give them a budget and you give them they'll get it done. They'll get it done and they'll make you money. How fucking hard is this to understand? You don't need to go train new people that you're not going to hire anyway. Just go back and hire the people that were working at your company 10 or 15 years ago that knew how to make you money. Same with comics, same with animation. But you get to a point where it's like, oh, you're a middle-aged dude. Got to put you out to pasture. You're 35. You're over the hill, man. We got to get the new. No, you want the people that are 35, 45, 55, hell, 65, 75, because they've got the skills to get the shit done. You need people who know what the fuck they're doing. You need to retain those people and not waste your time training people that you're not even going to hire for a real job just to get some fist bumps. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong blasted to 10 million unit sales in a week. Helldivers 2 did 12 million copies sold in 3 months. Cyberpunk sold 25 million copies as of last year. And people are saying, yeah, they were thinking it was going to sell 7.5 million units. Now they're down to 5.5 million units. Nobody cares about Star Wars. It doesn't even matter if the game's good. Even if the game was phenomenal, people are angry at Ubisoft for a variety of reasons. And people don't give a shit about Disney Star Wars. They do not care about Disney Star Wars. Look at the piles and piles and piles of action figures at Ollie's. Look at the declining viewership of the Disney Plus shows. Star Wars as a brand is damaged goods. Disney Star Wars is damaged goods. If you wanted this to succeed, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? That's how you bring it back to basics. And you go back to basics. And I mean, Hollywood's starting to just slowly get it. We've been talking about, movies and course correction. And, a lot of people were divided about Alien Romulus. I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. They tried. It was pretty okay. I think I gave it a 7. Beetlejuice 2, kind of back to basics. People will come back. Same with Ubisoft. But they keep doubling down on the stupidity and the whole shit around Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, if you just said, hey, dear gamers, we fucked up. We're just going to make good games. We're going to make good games that you guys want to play. We're going to charge a fair price. We're going to make sure that they're ready to play on day one and they don't need patched. We're going to keep our mouths shut about our political hot takes and shit. We're not going to use the media as a proxy to attack gamers or groups of gamers. We're just going to make good games. We're going to know our place. And we're going to make good games, and we hope that you come back. We hope that you buy games. We're going to lay a bunch of people off because a lot of these people are not bringing anything to the table. We're going to cancel this, that, and everything else. And we're going to focus on making good games for gamers at a good price that work when you could put it on a disc or a cartridge and you plug it in and that's it. You don't need to patch it. Yeah, we're going to work on that. You're better off hiring more testers, more Q&A people than you are hiring unpaid diversity interns. Like, this company is really in the shit right now, and this is not helping. I'm just saying, this is not helping your case at all. They're running headfirst into the fire. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. Join the Reef. go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.